I appear to be live. I'm going to let it hold on for a minute, make sure it don't crash. And now we're going to share the link. Command C, Denver Guitar Orchestra. I'm going to edit the page. Okay, we're going to come in. Don't. I'm going to dismiss that. Okay, don't mess up. Okay, good. Mountain Standard Time. Link to join the online. Link to join. Delete. Colon space. Command V. Oops. Link. Edit TM. Open. Update. 5TM. All right. Whew. Theoretically, we should be online. Hello, everybody! Exclamation point. Enter. All right. Page. Welcome. Come on in, everybody. Grab a seat. Find your guitar. Get yourself tuned up. We got some. What are we playing today? Beautiful Dreamer and a couple other things. So, once you get loaded in, feel free to say hi in the chat box. Get my sheet music fired up here. Okay, guitar. Hi, everybody. Come on in. Grab a seat. Grab your guitar. If you haven't had an opportunity, go open up in another window, denverguitarorchestra.com, and then open up, I think what we're doing, Row, Row, Row Your Boat today, and then we're going to do Row, Row, Row Your Boat, then we're going to do Buffalo Gals, and then we're going to finish up with Beautiful Dreamer. If you want to say hi, chat box is right there. Just say something and press enter, and it will magically appear. Let me grab a guitar. We'll start here in a couple minutes. I got loaded in. Hello, Christy. I'm running late. Over last lesson ran over just a little bit, so we'll give people another minute or two to get logged in. Alan, welcome. Hola. I have that over at the shop, Alan. Yeah, so right now I'm just using my trackpad. That's what I'm up to. How was your walk? Yeah. He was texting earlier. And then you can see his number up with the dots. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hi, Elizabeth. Feel free to use the chat box over here if you want people to know you're here. I've been writing the word fingerstyle in our chat room titles, which tends to attract a few random people who think they want to play fingerstyle guitar and don't really know what's going on for real. And so we'll get a few people kind of in and out. Had our first trolls over in the ukulele chat earlier, which was very exciting, right? Nothing like trolling ukulele lessons. All right, let's go ahead and get tuned up. Let me make sure I'm tuned up. Let me know if the sound is weird. We've had a pretty good day with sound, I think, and so hopefully it's going to be balanced for you. All right, close enough, right? should work. All right, there's enough of us in here. We'll get started. Our big thing today is just to continue forging our way through book one for those of you who are newer and learning to read tablature. Then for where am I at? Row, row, row your boat. And then making sure you're cool with your D chord. And then for those of you who are a little bit higher on the food chain, right, we want to play some fingerstyle with you. Um, and then we will be moving on to whatever's next. And then the last song today is Beautiful Dreamer. I just posted a new arrangement of this on the which you got from denverguitarorchestra.com. The challenge with that is that I've played through this enough times now this morning to figure out that I probably need to repost it, but we'll talk about those changes as we go along. Um, Question from Elizabeth, using fingernails. So I've been in a lot of YouTube lessons today for watching some of the other guitar players and what they're talking about. And Tatiana gave a fairly lengthy discussion about her nails yesterday. Here's where I come down on fingernails. If you have nothing better to do with your life but play guitar, heck yeah, grow your fingernails out about just enough where you want to be able to use the pads of your hands, but then you also simultaneously would like to be able to pluck with your fingernails. Here's the truth though, guys. If you have a life and you have to lift boxes or feed the cat or do the dishes or go outside in any way whatsoever, fingernails are probably not going to work out. I don't know how in the world people keep their fingernails in shape. I cut mine off now. I used to try to grow them out, and it was just this ongoing terrible challenge. Your fingernails absolutely give you this nice, clean, beautiful sound to your guitar. And if you are able to keep your fingernails in good shape and you don't break them off all the time, then absolutely play with your fingernails. I would grow them only long enough to where I could use my nail or the flesh of my fingers, whichever one makes the most sense for whatever's going on in the song. If, on the other hand, you don't grow, you have to make a choice between fingernails or no fingernails. I choose no fingernails simply because I break mine off all the time. I'm always moving boxes around and loading instruments up and loading instruments out and all this stuff. It just doesn't work out very well for me. So I'm just started cutting them off, and I'm just going to play with the flesh of my fingers. And like I say, ideally, if you can keep fingernails on, yeah, heck yeah, do it. It's a good idea, and it gives you more options with how to make different tonality of your guitar. All right, row, row, row your boat. Main idea with this one, we got to get comfy with playing a D chord. Okay, D chord is index finger, third string from the bottom, second fret, middle finger on the bottom string, second fret, and ring finger reaches out. Okay. On guitar, because our frets are so wide, you really would like to have your fingers up toward the front of the fret, so it's really close to the metal bar. Okay, same with this finger. That's going to give you the best tone with the least amount of work. The other thing that you're going to be working on is making sure that your thumb, the pad of your thumb, is on the back of the neck. I don't need to see your thumb ever. If you are this guy, we want you to stop doing that. That's not helpful to you long term. Thumb is going to be down here, and the thumb is going to hang out right behind the middle finger. So here's my middle finger. My thumb is hanging out everywhere I go, all the way, whatever chord shape I happen to be used. My thumb's hanging out behind my middle finger. Guitar posture, guitar is back up against your body. This is at about a 60-degree angle. This is oddly close to my face. My left arm is nice straight up and down. When I play, you'll notice it starts to come up a little bit. That's not ideal. I'm sitting on a piano bench at the moment, right? Trying to keep keep all of the weight on my spine in a vertical position. I am using a footstool to hold this up. and on my other leg, I tend to tuck it underneath the stool, and then I have a nice posture. I don't want my neck to be up like this; it's going to cause me trouble. Just want to have the least amount of stress and pressure on all of my body in what I'm doing. That way, I can play longer. The longer I can play, the hopefully, theoretically, the better I'm going to get. Okay. When you're strumming the D chord, we like to strum just 4 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you hit the 5th string, it's fine. Okay, a little different idea, but it's fine. If you hit the 6th string, your life comes to an instantaneous end. You don't want that 6th string ringing on a D chord, and so try not to hit the 6th string. If you do on acoustic guitar, you ignore it and move on. If you're on electric guitar, you're probably going to have to reach up with your thumb to get it to stop because bad things are going to happen in your amplifier. Okay, just nice and beautiful. For this song, we're going to strum really just 2 strums for every measure. Let's give it a try. 1, 2. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Let's do it again. Row, row, row your boat right across the lake. Don't stand up and rock the boat, oh, that's a big mistake. Hold on to this until your guitar stops ringing. Sometimes if you have a good guitar, it's going to ring for a week and a half. Right? And you're like, okay, I need this song to be over. You take your palm of your hand, bring it up from the bridge like this, okay? You don't want to slap down. It just ends up sounding right. And don't do that, okay? All right. Now, there's your D chord. D chord, we strummed it, played it. Let's go and teach these hands a smart thing to do. We're going to take these 4 fingers, thumb, index, middle, ring, and we're going to assign each of them a string. String 4, string 3, string 2, string 1, and you're going to pluck all 4 at once. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. What we're working on there is getting comfortable with collapsing our knuckles and not having the hand go too far wacky out of place, just nice and beautiful. 1, 2, ready, play. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Getting a little fancy on the end. All right. That's your D chord. Strumming one way, plucking one way. As we get to be more advanced players, we're spending a lot more time plucking and a lot less time strumming. I think when you watch classical guitar players, they'll stick a strum in once in a while, but not very often. It's a whole lot of plucking. So the more time you spend just plucking your guitar, the faster you're going to be more comfortable with that particular style of play. Next thing is we're going to now go through and play the melody. Okay, melody is when we play one note at a time, and that is on your sheet music. It's called Guitar Melody. If you didn't download the resources, they're on the front page of denverguitarorchestra.com. Okay, all right. First 2 notes, and I won't go into the details of how to read tablature. That was for the first 2 lessons in this series. We sort of taught you how to do that. I hope I didn't sort of teach you. I hope I totally taught you how to do that. So we're just going to go one note at a time. The big thing when playing melody is that this is first position. Index fingers are 1, middle fingers are 2, ring fingers are 3, and pinky fingers are 4. And in this song, you do have 5, so we're going to slide our pinky up to get those 5s. In this song, we also have some 10s, which are way down here, okay? You might take a moment before we get too far along to find the 10th fret. On my guitar, I don't have any dots on the front, but I do have them on the side here. I got 1 dot at 7, right? So I have my 8, 9, 10. 10's way down here. And so we're going to be playing that note right there. And we're also going to play the 10 on the 2nd string. Okay, so those are the 2 notes we're going to play right now. So we'll go nice and slow. Best practice, if it's a 3, it's your ring. If it's a 2, it's your middle finger. pinky. In this case, we're going to use our pinky on the 5s, and then we're going to use index finger down here on the 2 10s that we're going to come on. Okay, nice and slow from the top. 1, 2, 3, 3, 0, 2, 2, 0, 2, 3, 5. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 0, 3. Okay, so that's the melody. You've probably heard it before. One of the things I did at the end there is I just took this and kind of moved it back and down horizontal. When you have a single note that has a whole note or long period, that's when it's got a dotted half note. Give it a little bit of a wiggle. See if you can hear that. Just creates a sense of beauty and a little bit of more interest in those longer notes by giving them a little bit of vibrato is what we call that. Let's do it one more time from the top. 1, 2, ready, play. 3, 3, 3, 0, 2, 2, 0, 2, 3, 5. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 0, 3. Okay. One of the things on that 5 on measure 4, I'm having you guys use your pinky on 5, but there's nothing that says that you couldn't slide up your ring finger to 5. It sounds kind of interesting. If you did that, you'd end up with 3, 3, 3, 0, 2, 2, 0, 2, 3, 5. Okay. And then you get that. Get a little bit of a slide in there. That adds to the fanciness of it. All right, so that's your melody. Hopefully that's making sense for you at this point. If reading tablature is still kind of on that tougher end of things, lots of you guys come from guitar from the chord perspective. I take it from the melody perspective or the tablature perspective or the one note at a time perspective. And I think there's actually a lot more guitar to be learned that way than just learning learning your chords and singing. This way, when you play tablature, you don't have to sing. All right, last thing on this piece of paper, we're going fast today, so, and I know that, right? The idea is to make sure you have the big picture, kind of know what you're supposed to do, then go home and practice. That's the main idea. On Tough Axe, what we are doing is combining the chord and the melody. Okay, so we're going to walk through the whole thing, then we'll go through and we're going to play this song twice through using the Tough Axe. Okay, measure 1, grab your D chord. You're going to play 0, 2, 3. So that's these 3 strings. You can strum them down, and then your thumb is doing a rest stroke there on the bottom. For those of you who've been around a while and you're getting like, yep, I totally get that, you should be plucking. Okay? Thumb, index, and middle. Right? That's what you'll be working on. For newer players who are just getting comfy with fingerstyle guitar, that's what you're working on. Okay, all advanced skills. Once you get comfy with this, you are at the top level. Then it's just a matter of picking super hard songs and getting where you can play them pretty well. All right. So let's play those 2, 0, 2, 3, and then play it again, and then play it a third time. Next notes is 0. I'm going to lift up my middle finger to get that 0, and then I'm going to put it right back down to get a full D chord. And I'm going to play that full D chord again. Middle finger back up, middle finger back down. I'm going to use my pinky to get that 3, the last note in measure 3. And then in measure 4, I have that D chord with my pinky all the way up there. That is going to hurt. Okay? And I'm pressing like heck to get that pinky clean. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it will not. When you're off guitar and you're sitting around wondering what to do with yourself, just be doing this and kind of practice. Getting this finger, the tendons between those 2 fingers loosened up. Then this one, then this one, then this one, right? This one's always fine and this one's always fine. Those two can be challenging, and this is really challenging when you first start trying to get this finger to have independent thoughts from this finger. These guys have hung out together their whole lives, and so that's what we got to do in order to get that D chord with your pinky up on five. Okay, if you are more advanced, right, plucking all of those. Okay. Now, at the end of that measure four, I've got a three, two. Those are just pretty notes in there, just decorative notes in fingerstyle. We always add in decorative notes. Not always. Means most of the time. We add in some decorative notes to make sure that we're not getting to the next note too quickly. And so what we want to do is just add in some stuff to kind of make it pretty and make it fancy, right? So I'm just going to add those in, okay? Next, measure five. I'm going to slide up to my tens, and it says pluck two of both of them at the same time. And then it says press 10, 11. Don't refinger this. Leave this guy covering both strings, and then just use your middle finger up here on 11. So you're at bum, 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 bum. Okay? Bum, 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 bum. Now it will make you feel like Slash from Guns N' Roses, right? I'm playing way up here. Got this cool riff. That's row your boat. Is you'll be in Guns N' Roses next. Okay, so the idea is you're gonna play on 10. You get that 11 held down, and then you're gonna do these two strings and then those two strings, and you can decide how to pluck it, or that's probably not as good, but try different ways. Find out which way is going to work the best for you. I'm probably going to use these two fingers. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, when we get there. All right, immediately after measure five, you got to race like heck, and then do it again in time is the key. You're going to play this song only fast enough where you can make this move in correct time. So you're all the way up here on those 10s and 11s. Now, boom, you got to get down to this D chord. That D chord. You're going to get to that D chord from these 10s. So you're hanging out on 10s. Okay, so you're going to be taking at measure 6, full D chord. And then you just grab these next three, the strings 4, 3, and 2, to get there. Okay? So as I can tell, I'm fighting it. That's your goal, and you play the song however slow you have to in order to do that in proper timing. And I can tell I'm struggling with it right now because I don't practice this song enough. What we were going to do, we're going to play the song a tiny bit slower so that I can get there and hopefully you can get there. And if you're not getting there, spend a little bit of time on it and slow the song down. There's no rule that you have to play songs fast. Most new people, most new guitarists play everything way too fast. So talk yourself into playing slow. I promise you'll be happier with your results long term. All right. After you are finished with measure 6, D, 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 D. Measure 7, you got to put that pinky back up there. Pull the pinky back to the 3. Get rid of your pinky. Get rid of your middle finger. And then you have 3 strings. And then 2 decorative notes. In reading your sheet music, the big thing here, the repeat, is you're going to go into measure 8 the first 2 times you play this song, and the last time, the third time you play it, you don't go into measure 8, you skip over to measure 9. It's always a conversation among musicians when we get new sheet music is where do the repeats go? And so in this case, you're going to play into measure 8 twice, and then the third time through, you're going to skip and go to measure 9. Having said that, we're going to die if we play this song 3 times. So we are only going to play it twice. We're going to play it through row your boat all the way down. When we hit measure 8, we're going to turn around, go back up to the top. We're going to play it through the second time. We're going to skip measure 8 on the second time and play measure 9. In this case, guys, measure 8 and measure 9 are identical, so don't think I'm trying to trick you there. But typically there is a difference between the first repeat and the second repeat. Grab your D chord. Let's see how we do. Nice and slow. I'm going to probably strum with my thumb. If you are feeling more advanced-ish, you should be plucking with your plucking here, or mixing it up, using a little bit of both to make it yourself sound good. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, let's do it one more time. I made enough mistakes where I feel like I should probably do that again. Okay, from the top. One, two. And that's what we're after, right? That's the basic idea. Getting that, um, getting all of those pieces and parts put together. You get your melody going, you got your chords going, you got some kind of fancy stuff here. I was fighting 10 and 11 pretty good. If I was getting ready to present this in concert, I'd be working right there to make sure that I get that on correctly. Um, Playing the easy, those of you guys who think you're all that, right? Playing this easy stuff is going to expose your weaknesses way faster than playing some of this super fancy stuff. So don't neglect to go back and play. Get your basic skill set as solid as you can. It's one of my weaknesses and one of most people's weaknesses is we're just so busy trying to do the next super fancy song that we never go back and really dial in and make sure our bass toolkit is really in good shape. All right, next time we're going to work on Buffalo Gals, right? I think that's what I told you to do. Okay, we're going to go much faster through this song. And hopefully, if you're thinking, I got this, I wish it'd go faster, good for you. If you're thinking, gosh, I don't have this, he's going too darn fast, they do save these videos up on YouTube and you can go back and revisit them. If I said something or doesn't make any sense to you whatsoever, just toss me an email. Hopefully, we can clarify it that way. Email address is all over the DenverGuitarOrchestra.com website, so just go do that. All right, Buffalo Gals, you got two chords. Everything in level two is a two-chord song. You got a G chord, index finger, fifth string, second fret, middle finger, third fret of the sixth string, and ring finger down here, first string, third fret. Always hard to think about. Okay, that's a G chord. Some of you have learned the fancy G chord where you take this ring finger, move it up one string, and then add your pinky. That's absolutely fine when you're doing any kind of a G chord. Very beautiful. And those of you who've gone through folk music training, you're going to do your G chord with ring, middle, and pinky. I don't like that G chord, but I do know if you're going to be a singer, that's a really convenient arrangement because C chord is hanging out right there, right? So, and whatever G chord you like the best, I almost invariably use this one. I just think it's the easiest for me. On any of those shapes are perfectly fine. Okay, again, getting my guitar in correct positioning. And by the way, if you're a cowboy player and you got to play down here, perfectly fine, except that you're ruining your life with your wrist and your chord shapes, and your thumb's going to be way hanging around up here. It's just not ideal, right? And if you would decide to play Red Rocks, you're going to put a strap on your electric, your Fender Stratocaster or whatever it is that you're going to be playing. You're probably old, so your Gibson L5, I think, whatever you're playing, you're going to have a strap around it. It's going to drop in front of you, and it's oddly enough going to be in classical position, not in cowboy position. And so you might as well, when you're sitting at home practicing classical position, it's the easiest on your body. All right, Buffalo Gals, we got G chord and D7. Supposed to play this song 4 times through. We're going to play it once through just so you get the idea. And then we got a lot more work to get done today, and it's already 6 o'clock. All right, let's go. Get your G chord on. I'm going to count in 3, and then I'm going to say as, and then you're going to start strumming. Remember when you're strumming 2, 3, 4. You're the drummer. Keep a steady beat. Don't worry about what's going on in the melody. You're just trying to keep a steady beat. If you want to use this finger, down, up, down, up, down, up. My fingernail is the face of my fingernail is hitting as I go down. Oops, I need a G chord. And then my pad is coming back up. Don't have your fingernail facing up this direction as you get stuck in the strings that way. Just down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. If you've gone and watched some of the pretty little girls on YouTube with their instructional videos, they'll give you some sort of goofy strum pattern for whatever song they're working on. And it's helpful, right? Or not, whatever. You don't have to do any particular type of strum pattern. I'm pretty boring. I tend to just give a nice steady 4-beat pattern like this. Last thing, those of you at those next levels is obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm just doing this 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, up, down, up. I think arpeggio picking sounds prettier, and then you can pick whichever strings you want to play when you are arpeggio picking, or, 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 what am I missing? And you don't have to do that pattern every time. Sometimes you can go the opposite direction. Ring, middle, finger, thumb. Ring, middle, index, thumb. Whatever. Find a way to make the song sound amazing. Okay? From the top. 1, 2, 3. As I was walking down the street, down the street, down the street, a pretty girl I chanced to meet. Oh, she was fair to see. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon? And you go back and do all 4 verses. Read through the verses. They're very cute. It's a really sweet little old song. 1844. You can change the words to Denver gals or Miami gals or whatever you want, right? Very cute little song. And again, we're working on getting from G chord to D7 and back to G. I always recommend chasing your index finger. My index finger is on a G here. I'm going to chase it to the D7 and chase it back. I think that's the way to get fast at changing chords. The other thing that you might have noticed when I got to measure 3, I had fallen asleep on the G chord, and all of a sudden I was like, oh crud, I'm supposed to be on D7, right? So always be reading ahead to what your next chord is. It's really easy to fall asleep as a chord player, thinking, oh, I'm all fine. Make sure you know what the next chord is, what's coming up, and what challenges are facing you as you get to that chord. All right, that's the chords. Let's do the melody. Nice and steady. Again, previous lessons have taught you how to read melody. Now your job is just to practice it every single time you sit down with your guitar. From the top, 1, 2, 3. 3, oh, 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 3, oh, 3, oh, 3, 1, 2, oh, 3, oh, 3, oh, 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 3, oh, 3, oh, oh, 3, 3, 1, 2, something. back and repeat the whole song. I gotta grab my old-fashioned sheet music here because I can't change pages effectively. So let me pull that up. The main thing you're looking at when you're playing tablature is staying in first position when you're playing straight melody line, index, middle, ring, pinky. Okay? And that's everything in the song. There's just threes, twos, and ones, and they're all hanging out right there. Try to stick with those fingers. Okay? Let's move on to tough axe. We're moving pretty quickly today. Tough axe is fingerstyle or is chord melody or is whatever you want to call it. What I'd like to do is grab my G chord right off the bat. Okay? And I'm going to start with that 3. And I'm going to hit that 3. And then I got 3, 2, 0, 0. Okay? I'm going to strum down there. Okay? Alan, you only have 4 strings. Just ignore the bottom 2 strings. You got 2 zeros, right? Then you're going to hit the 3rd string open. 2nd string open. And then you got a full G chord, except you're not going to have any fingers on the bottom. Add the 3. Get rid of the 3. Okay. Next note looks like a D chord, but it's really a D7. So I'd probably put my pinky on the make a D7 chord, and then add my pinky to play the 3. Lose the pinky. Hit those 2 notes. Measure 4. I'm on G chord with no bottom note. Hit the 3, and then take the 3 out. Put the 3 on. Then we got 8th note, so this is kind of fast. Strum, O, 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 3, and then a full G chord at measure 6. Add the pinky, add your ring, sorry, and then hit the 0. And then we're going to go to measure 7, grab your D7, add your pinky. Where's the pinky? Hit the 2, and then finish up at measure 8. I've added some decorative notes in after that. 2, O, O. As long as you're holding the chord, it doesn't really matter what strings you hit. Strings 5, 4, 3 is what is written there, but if you hit 4, 3, 2, it'll sound fine. Okay, measure 9, full G chord. Fa, fa, hit the 2, low, and then we got a full G chord except no bottom note. Hit the 2 threes. Nice G chord almost at page 10. Measure 10. 3, 3. Lose your ring. Go to measure 11, same thing. D chord, D7 chord with your pinky. Lose the pinky. And then go to measure 12 for a nice full G chord with no bottom. Grab your full G chord at 13. Measure 15, grab your D chord. And that 3 takes you back up or around. I messed up in measure 15. I grabbed a D chord because it looks exactly like a D chord. That first thing, I probably wanted to grab a D7 and add my pinky because that way it keeps me out of trouble when I need to play that 1. Let's play it from the top. 1 time through. Do your best you can. If this is not going well for you, play it, strum along with the chords, or pluck the melody. 1, 2, 3. Measure 3. repeat or not, whatever, sounds good. I noticed every single time I was grabbing a D chord and then being in a pickle to have to change to the one. And then when I on the page two, when I was trying to fix it, I was trying to do this, then I was messing that up too. So that would clearly be that signals to me, hey, if you're going to get ready to play this song, that's the part you need to work on. Don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes just teach you what things to go back and work on. Don't stop in the middle of a song when you make a mistake. Keep playing through. It's very important musically. Okay. Last thing to talk about, if you are an arpeggio picker, I always write out, not always, most of the time I write an arpeggio out on your sheet music for you. You don't have to follow that, right? You don't have to follow that. Just hold the chord. As I was walking down the street, down the street, down the street, a pretty little girl I chanced to meet. Oh, she was there to see. Okay, that's one way to do the arpeggio. You can do exactly what I wrote. My thought on there was IPIM, right, and get you a chance to practice these other classical type fingerings. It's an opportunity for you to run into some weird string crossings and see how you can figure it out. But when you're playing arpeggios, you are entitled to do whatever you want to do. Okay. All right. We only got a few minutes to cover Beautiful Dreamer. So, again, if something I said doesn't make any sense or I keep talking while I'm playing, and sometimes I know that I'm not making any sense, drop me an email and let me know what's going well, what's not going well, if you need any additional or clarification or whatever. And do know that after the end of these things, I'm saving the video up on my YouTube so you can go back and double check. I think the most important thing you could do for yourself is spend just a little bit of time playing the songs, right? Playing them in whatever way is making sense to you, that's going well. And if you are consistently running up against a problem that's like, gosh, I don't think Gary said the right thing here. Yeah, absolutely. Drop me a note and say, Gary, you don't make any sense. I've spread my sheet music all across the Tarnation, so I don't have to turn the page, and that'll give you a chance to do the same thing. When you go, this song is tough because it goes back and forth and all over the place. I did tell you up in the upper left-hand corner where the repeats go, so you may want to go through and write down, hey, when I get to the measure 24, then I got to go back to measure 13, then I play all the way down through 48, then I go back to 13, then I play through 24 again, then I go back to measure 13, and then I play all the way to the end. So it's going to have you going all the way around. Don't necessarily want to play through the whole entire song. It's a good opportunity for you at home to spend the evening playing something really beautiful. It's a very beautiful tune, and it's very Stephen Fosterish, makes a lot of sense, and it's very simple in its overall construction, but the net effect is really quite beautiful. Okay, like to go through and go start at measure 13. Let's double check that we know our chords. You've got an A chord, level 3. I expect you to know your A chord. That's going pretty well, right? Okay, try not to hit that sixth string. It's not the end of the world if you do. Second chord is a D chord. Try to only play 4 strings. Okay, and then you've got an E chord over there at measure 19. You can play all 6 strings. Okay, and I think that's it. I think that's the only chords in there, if I remember right. And so, just a beautiful 3-chord song. That's where it's happening, guys. All right, from measure 13, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me. 3, 1, 2, 3. Starlight and dewdrops are waiting for thee. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, back. Sounds of the world heard in the day, led by the moonlight, have all passed away. And that goes on, right? My singing is abysmal, but the idea is that you could strum and sing it if you're a decent singer. Most of us aren't. That's why we're here. Um, and so you would play through that thing twice. Then you're going to go down and play the main chorus, starting at 25. Beautiful dream, my queen of my song, right? And again, find yourself either a beautiful, soft, nice down strum. I wouldn't go up, down, up, down, up, down with this. It's a pretty song, and this seems too much. The other one would be to give your multi-chord pluck, multi-string pluck. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. The other one, if you're a good singer, root note your chord. A, 2, 3, A, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, E, 2, 3, E, 2, 3, A, 2, 3, and so on, right? Um, all right, let's play the melodies. Then we can start at measure 1 on that. All right, I'm gonna have to adjust myself a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Starts on 5 and then 4, right? So I'm on 5. I'm probably gonna use my pinky finger there. 1, 2, 3. 2. What? Oh, I'm on 5. Here's 5. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3, oh, 3, oh, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, oh, 10, 9, 9, 7, 6, 7, 2, 4, 5, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Here we go. 5, 4, 5, oh, 2, oh, 3, oh, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, oh, 4, 2, 2, oh, 3, 3, 2, oh, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now notice that 2 lasts forever, right? Just let your guitar do its job. A singer is going to be pulling that all the way through. Sounds beautiful. Let's pretend we did the repeat. Let's go to measure 25. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3, oh, 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 4, 5, 2, 2, 3, 7, 7. Sorry, I'm going to start again. I've blown too much of that to keep going. Let's go to 25 again. Sorry, guys. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3, oh, 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 4, 5, 2, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, 2, oh, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 5, 4, 5, oh, 2, oh, 3, oh, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, oh, 4, 2, 2, oh, 3, 3, 2, oh, 2. And then you would go back and repeat all that stuff. Last measures at measure 49. Let's go on to the very ending of this. It says RIT, which means you're supposed to play it slower. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, 10, 9, 9, 7, 6, 7, 2, 4, 5. Let that ring out, and then you have got your melody down. Okay, so that's one to work on. My fingering was a little crazy. I had, like I said, just finished this rewrite last night and haven't had enough time to dive into it in any significant detail. I apologize. You'll do better than I do. All right, last thing we're going to do, let's walk through the tough acts. The big things here, measure 1, you have this A chord, which is a bar on 2, and your pinky on 5. Okay? And then your pinky is going to go 4, 5. So that's kind of a tough move. It's tough on your pinky. Nice A chord, and then another A chord. Measure 4, you're going to just lift everybody up except your middle finger. And then ring to the 3. And measure what am I on? 5, D chord. And then I added in some decorative notes. And then let's go to that E chord. And I hit 11, so that'll sound bad. Let's hit a 10. And then you're on that 4, and then that beautiful A chord with your pinky again. Okay. And then I went ahead on your sheet music doesn't have it on there, but I'm going to go ahead and pick up a couple of notes from the arpeggio. And then I'm going to go into the main part of the song. Nice A chord again. That would be my basic idea of how to attack that section there. Then, of course, you repeat. Coming back through, pretend we played it the second time. Let's go on to measure 25. Really, that's the tough part of the song there is that beginning part because you need that to be beautiful and flowy and make a lot of sense. And I think that generally speaking, if you'll just play it slow, this is a song really benefits from slow play and letting the guitar help you out. All right, let's go to 25. Start with your A chord. Everybody down. Nice bar chord here, 28. I just added in some extra notes there. Go to measure 31. Give me a nice downbeat there. D chord. 2, 3, bar chord on 7. That repeat sends you all the way back to 13 again to do that whole section twice. You got to play the song a bunch of times. Obviously, at home, you don't need to do all those repeats if you don't want to, but you should. It's beautiful, right? It gives you extra opportunity to practice that. Then let's go to the ending. The ending is almost identical to the beginning. 49. Nice E chord at the end. Go grab your 10. Leave that bar chord on. Nice, beautiful ending to that. Guitar really does a nice job of helping you out with that. If you're a singer, obviously go through and try arpeggio, picking those chords instead of uh, um, strumming them. Whew, I'm beat. Hopefully that made some sense to you. If it didn't, send me an email. Let me know what I could have done to make it clearer for you. Biggest thing is to find a level where you're playing well and make sure you're playing some music at that level and below that level. So if you're killing Beautiful Dreamer, go back and play some Buffalo Gals. If Buffalo Gals was tough, go back and play some Row 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 Your Boat. If Row 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 Your Boat is tough, go back and play Frere Jacques and Brother John. So that you always are playing something at a lower level, and then also then you want to have your stretch piece. So whatever you're playing well, play something below that, and then always have at least one piece that you're stretching on. And I don't emphasize this often enough, but really pick a song, pick one. Work on that song till you're so sick of that song that you want to die. And I think then you'll have something really beautiful for yourselves. All right, I'm going to leave chat box open just for a minute, and then we'll shut everything down. So if you're still here, say adios. If you're not here, don't say anything. Have a wonderful night, you guys. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm on check with denverguitarorchestra.com. I'll post the link up there, and it's helping me go through all of my sheet music that needed edited and cleaned up. And so hopefully you're finding that helpful. And with that, we'll call it a day. I'll put my guitar back here and get started on some Bach on the old piano. We're all locked down these days, so please take care of yourself and stay home. Thank you, Alan. Good to see you. Linda, I'm so delighted you've been joining us. Christy, I'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful night, you guys. Elizabeth, you're always welcome. And you guys have a wonderful night. Be safe, and I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, ending the stream.